What's a chef to do when she gets dumped by one of the biggest networks on TV? If you're Sarah Moulton, you do the only reasonable thing you can: serve up a platter of inspo for the Beastie Boys. Sarah Moulton worked as the food editor for Good Morning America, as well as with pioneering TV chef Julia Child in her early career. Her work had been primarily just adjacent to cooking on television when, according to HuffPost, the young and upstart Food Network approached her in 1996 to star in her own demonstration show. Despite a mediocre screen test, she got the job and became one of Food Network's earliest stars as the host of Cooking Live. That show lasted 6 years, running concurrently with the spin-off Cooking Live Primetime, and upon its conclusion in 2002, Moulton rolled into Sarah's Secrets. That series aired its final episodes in 2006 because Food Network let Moulton go. As she revealed to Eater, "They dumped me. I'll say it. I was part of the old guard, and every time a new president comes in, they make changes." The mid-2000s also witnessed a major change in Food Network's approach, switching from a lineup primarily of cooking instruction programs into reality TV and aspirational lifestyle series. As Moulton summed it up, they were more interested in really good-looking people with really big personalities. In the decade and a half since her exit from Food Network, Sarah Moulton didn't disappear from TV. She went on to host and produce a new cooking show, thanks to a classic home for pre-Food Network TV chefs, good old public television. Her show, Sarah's Weeknight Meals, has Moulton and friends sharing recipes for quick and tasty meals every night of the week. Moulton has been hosting Sarah's Weeknight Meals since 2008, and the series is still going strong. As a renowned chef with an extensive media background, Moulton is also a go-to guest for daytime talk shows that need someone to do a cooking segment. Over the years, she's made regular appearances on Good Morning America and Rachel Ray. In 2020, Moulton filmed segments of a reminiscent nature regarding her mentor and friend for the public TV miniseries Dishing with Julia Child, a gig she expanded on in the 2021 documentary Julia.
She felt that making a mistake was a good thing, just so that she could then show you how to fix it.
Sarah Moulton has produced 4 cookbooks that grace the shelves of bookstores and avid home cooks. Her first book, Sarah Moulton Cooks at Home, was released in 2002 and focused on healthy recipes specifically designed as an alternative to fast food. 3 years later, Moulton followed it up with Sarah's Secrets for Weeknight Meals, a publication released in tandem with her then-current Food Network show, Sarah's Secrets. In 2010, Moulton published her third book, Everyday Family Dinners, notable for the chef's innovative and influential chapter, 2 for 1. The chapter focused on how to turn one night's leftovers into a whole new meal the following evening. Moulton's fourth book was the 2016 release Home Cooking 101, How to Make Everything Taste Better, which emphasized getting dishes to be consistent.
I wanted to address that issue and really help people to have the same dish every time.
Moulton also authors Sunday Suppers, a monthly column for the Washington Post magazine, and the weekly feature Kitchen Wise, syndicated to newspapers by the Associated Press. In 2009, according to the New York Times, periodicals publisher Condé Nast shut down the venerable Gourmet magazine. Helping to create foodie culture and establish food as a pop culture entity, Gourmet had seen its revenues in decline for some time. It was ironically muscled out of the market by more populist magazines like Every Day with Rachel Ray and Food Network magazine. The closure of Gourmet caused Sarah Moulton to suffer financially. Before and after her time as a cable TV personality, Moulton served as the executive chef at Gourmet, a job that included presiding over the magazine's exclusive dining room. As she told Food Gal, "I cooked meals for the advertisers. We'd wine them and dine them. Then we'd hit them up for advertising. I was making the best food of my life in that dining room."
I had 16 seats and no food cost. Can you imagine? That was fun.
In the end, however, Condé Nast ultimately licensed the valuable Gourmet brand to other companies and hired Moulton back on as a consultant. In early 2018, after the Me Too and Time's Up movements exploded, Sarah Moulton wrote an op-ed for HuffPost to speak out about her experiences with such behaviors. The chef attended the prestigious Culinary Institute of America in the mid-1970s, where, according to Moulton, the instructors were primarily male. She wrote, "Men at every level in the school told me the same thing. Women do not belong in the kitchen." That inspired Moulton to work harder to prove everyone wrong, and after both graduation and a stint as the head chef of a Boston restaurant, she took an apprenticeship in France, working for acclaimed chef Maurice Cazalis. During her time there, she recalled being the only female apprentice, with all the others being around 15 years old. Moulton added that Cazalis wouldn't allow her to do much more than prep work, and she didn't seem to be a fan of the chef. In her article, she wrote that Cazalis, quote, "was a lascivious character and probably loved having me there because he thought he could have his way with me. He frequently and repeatedly made advances against Moulton, even arranging a weekend food trip where he booked them one room and took her to a nude dancing show. 6 months after the gig ended, Moulton mustered the courage to tell her mentor, Julia Child, of Cazalis' behavior, writing, her response was, 'Oh dearie, what did you expect? They're all like that. Get over it.'" Sarah Moulton, old-school TV chef, has crossed paths more than once with old-school rap trio the Beastie Boys. According to her website, her Food Network series Sarah's Secrets merited a thank you in the liner notes of the group's 2004 album To the Five Boroughs. Moulton paid close attention to the track Rhyme the Rhyme Well, specifically the lyric, serving MCs on a platter like baked Alaskan. In response to the lyric, she published a recipe for baked Alaskan, a version of the classic ice cream cake Baked Alaska. Moulton's knowledge of hip-hop goes way back. She told Eater that she was a fan of the Beastie Boys and Run DMC's early stuff. She's also just 2 degrees away from both of those groups, as well as other legendary 80s-era rap artists. Moulton's husband, Bill Adler, has worked in different capacities in the music industry, breaking into it in 1981 after he befriended Def Jam Records co-founder Russell Simmons and offered to be his publicist. Sarah Moulton seems to know all the cool kids of the food world, including Christopher Kimball, whom she co-hosts the weekly Milk Street radio series with. It's available to stream as a podcast, with each episode lasting a full hour. It's a high-quality show, as evidenced by the International Association of Culinary Professionals awarding it as the best radio show in 2020. Every week is full of something fascinating from the culinary world, whether it's a masterclass with a cooking great like Jacques Pépin, or a tour of the poison plants at Anik Poison Garden. Because of Moulton's wide range of food expertise, she doesn't shy away from providing live answers to people who call into the show. Sarah Moulton keeps busy, and her blog is a good chronicle of what she's doing, what she's cooking, and where she's cooking these days. Her website features her recipes, a list of the books she's published, information about her latest Sarah's Weeknight Meals episodes, videos, and a link to her blog. She seems to publish more recipes than anything else on her blog. So if you're looking for the perfect timely food to fit the holiday or season, you'll want to keep a watch on what she's posting. You'll see links to the Milk Street radio broadcasts she co-hosts and recipes from specific Sarah's Weeknight Meals episodes. She also adds in more personal posts, like what she's eating or doing on vacation. You can also follow Moulton on Facebook, Instagram, or X. While each of her social media accounts has slightly different content, she often posts links back to her blog, so you won't miss what's happening with her. You can't have a food-based career like Sarah Moulton's without having a vast collection of cookbooks at your disposal. At one point, she had about 1,500 different cookbooks, making Moulton's collection larger than most. She can easily find something new to cook anytime she gets bored with her normal meal rotation. However, the collection isn't nearly as big after she gave away many of the books to a small New York City cooking school in 2023. Part of the reason Moulton has so many cookbooks is because of her work at Good Morning America between 1986 and 1996. Every time the show featured a chef or a cookbook author doing a cooking demonstration for the audience, it was Moulton's job to do all the prep work so they can instead focus on cooking and talking. Having made so many friends with people who have put out cookbooks, she has amassed quite a collection. Being a cookbook connoisseur, she sometimes recommends certain titles for the best cookbooks of the year in publications like Bustle. Sarah Moulton isn't just a culinary artist, but also a creator of visual artwork. Moulton took advantage of all that social distancing everyone did in 2020 to get back into watercolor painting. She searched the internet to learn new watercolor techniques, taking online classes with Kateri Ewing and on a website called Art Tutor. She admits that she struggles with the flowers in her paintings. However, you wouldn't know it from looking. It turns out that being an artist runs in the family. While watercolor painting is a hobby she enjoys doing alone, Moulton also paints with her sister in Maine when visiting on vacation. Her sister has a dedicated painting area with relaxing and inspirational view of the water, so the two are able to sit back and paint to their heart's content. Admiration goes both ways between Sarah Moulton and French chef Jacques Pépin. In 2019, Moulton said in her blog, "There will never be another Jacques Pépin. He is one of a kind. The food world is so lucky to have him." Pépin returned the favor in 2023 when he told Current, "There are many cooking shows on TV, but few are teaching anything. To learn about cooking, look at Sarah Moulton." Moulton is a big supporter of the Jacques Pépin Foundation. She has been involved in many fundraisers for the organization, which provides a free culinary education for people around the U.S. who need it most. She has even been a keynote speaker for some of the foundation events.
So here is a tribute to you, the Jacques Pépin Foundation, and all the good work you do.
In 2021, Pépin released the second volume of his Cook with Jacques and Friends video recipe book. Moulton was pleased to be among the friends providing a recipe for the collection, and the two have been known to get together when he's in New York City. In 2023, they met up for a meal when Pépin was in town for a James Beard Foundation dinner in his honor. Sarah Moulton has had the privilege of providing cooking demonstrations aboard cruise ships to combine work with pleasure and world travel. When the ship would stop at various ports, she could go on shore and shoot on-location videos for her television show. One such cruise toured southern Italy. While she was off the ship visiting Rome and Parma, she used local film crews to help her shoot segments from places like a Parmigiano Reggiano warehouse that she could integrate into her show. Then, when she was back on the cruise ship, she gave standing room-only cooking classes featuring dishes that fit with the region. One of the dishes she demonstrated while touring the Italian coast was a twist on eggplant parmesan.